it's pretty late for me to be recording. But me and everybody else in the house I live is probably going to end up staying up late anyway because of other reasons. And so I might as well record since the time is going to be used anyway. So, let me summarize. So there's this professor of psychology, a new and young professor, named Izumi Marino. And Izumi decides to conduct an experiment with this intention. That is, well, maybe she has an intention, which is not how you're supposed to do science, but then psychology really isn't science, so I guess it's okay. With the hypothesis that curé syndrome, or the third trait of curé syndrome, that is, the delusion that you believe becomes reality, is not actually true. And she created an experiment to test her hypothesis. And that experiment involved finding a student or finding a test subject who wouldn't know who she was, and put them in an environment where they wouldn't necessarily believe any research was going on. And she would trick this test subject into thinking that they were successfully predicting the future by somehow waiting for opportunities when they would guess the future and then making it so that that future they predicted actually came true. That way they would begin to be convinced in totality that they were able to predict the future. And then she would then see, okay, would that then write into reality that they would begin to actually be able to predict the future. So there's this man named OBS is going funny on me. I wonder if that's going to affect the recording in post. There's a man named Makoto Ishihara. And this Makoto character never goes to class. And he wanted to, but he begged the registrar or someone like that to let him continue from his second year to his third year of college. And they agreed, you can do that if you go to the seminar camp. Which, little did he know, Izumi was behind this, and he was her perfect test subject because he never went to class. He wouldn't even know that she was even a professor or even know her. So she's like, yeah, if you be my test subject, then I'll let you go on to your third year. So, but the first day she meets this boy who never goes to class and somehow still made it into his second year, she suddenly falls in love with him, like physically. But she carries out the experiment anyway. And she falls in love with this boy because he's the player character in a video game. And in these Japanese video games, for some reason, I guess for escapism purposes, the player character can get every woman hanging off of him just by existing. So she's like, oh no, it's the player character. Oh no. So anyway, she tries to trick him into thinking that he can predict the future anyway, and she succeeds, and he goes back guano crazy. But then somehow she also goes back guano crazy. And then she's like, well, he probably won't like me back because he's gonna figure out I tried to do this experiment on him. But then she tells him, look, I tried to do this experiment on you. Are you mad at me? He's like, no, I'm not mad at you, because if I weren't, then this game wouldn't have any plot or any mysteries or anything to reveal. It would just be a dating sim, and that would be boring. He's like, okay, sweet, and then they make out, and that's the end of the story. If you were to propose that in the boardroom, or in the writer's room, and you were to couch it like I just couched it, I don't know if that would necessarily come across as a very good idea. But it got written. kind of a boring story. But there's all these complications involved. Because in order to get to where you kiss the professor, you first have to work your way up to it by kissing other girls, including the professor's sister, and a clone of the professor's sister. Anyway, so I got through 11 endings of this game. And the first one, the second one here, Yuka Good End, acted like it was like the final ending. Acted like that was the game in itself. But that turned out not to be the case. They have a bunch of these filler endings you go to until you get to this Izumi curé End A ending. And then that seems like it's the end of the game. It's like a finale. And you even have this after credits scene, which they call grand finale, or grand finale here. It's called grand finale. But despite that, there's 8 more endings listed. There's 8 more of them. So that's not the finale. Now, I will say, in the interim, I did figure out that the word appendix has 8 letters. So it might be that those last 2 endings I saw in the original files that were described with the 8-letter word, or the appendix, or the append story. So maybe that's what those 2 of these are. And then part of the mystery of why the original files have 16 endings and this Love Engine port has 19 might be that Grand Finale is listed as an ending in the Love Engine port, and it's not listed as an ending in the original files. So that might be why there's extras, but that only explains one of the extras. There's 2 more extras. Now, some of these, of course, are the Izumi ending. Once you get the Izumi curé Good Ending A, it'll tell you you've now unlocked the Izumi ending without the curé. So, just checking something. So that's what these are. Now, there's also, because this says Izumi curé Good Ending B, that would suggest that there exists a Izumi curé Good Ending A, it suggests there's a B. But I couldn't find any reasonable way you could get a different ending than the one you got on that second pass I got from getting the Izumi curé Good Ending A. So the first thing I'm going to try is, now that the Izumi ending is unlocked, clicking through what gets me to the Izumi curé route, and see if that changes the ending you get on the Izumi curé route. Probably won't, but that's the next task I'm going to do, and then after that I'm going to I'm going to give up on that if that doesn't work. And then try to find the Izumi route. And that's the worst part of this Let's Play, is trying to find the routes. I mean, it might be part of the fun of playing the game, but it's not something that really Let's Plays well, is finding routes. Got a lot of the CGs. We're still missing a couple Yuka ones, a couple Saki ones. We saw an extra Saki one in the one of the ending cutscenes. Oh, there's a Saki one here as well. I'm missing an Izumi one that's going to be a variation on this kissing scene. So there's a variation of it that we haven't gotten. And one missing here. And there's also a variations on this one half of the barbecue scene as well. So let's start with what I said I was going to do here. So it's going to be a lot of pressing K. Skip the opening cutscene. It's very catchy, but I'm going to skip it anyway. Infatuating delivery girl. I didn't notice that scene name before. Backup Yuka. What do you mean seminar? I'll play tennis with Yuka. Lob her. Straight. Gotta return it. Try running for the net. Go down the alcohols. I'm grateful. Stop lording it over at me and just say it. Yeah, you're right. I've never picked the other choice there, ever. Whatever. I won't cover for Okuhiko. With pleasure. Go shopping with Yuka, why not? Faint. You're right. Does this feel good? Run over to them. Got a premonition. Go to the pool. Dive like a dolphin. Do this just so there's extra content. Not in this game, apparently.
いいわよ。それじゃあ膝枕して耳。
I'm definitely not reading this.
それじゃあ行くわよ。
You just cost me my headrest and my ear picking. Respect most.
は？
What am I asking her?
そうね。
Sherlock Holmes.
私の尊敬する人。
Okay, that's why I said she likes detectives in her bio.
憧れちゃうのよね。ああいうわずかな証拠も見逃さない優れた洞察力。わずかな証拠からトリックを導き出す。そして最後まで諦め。
Okay. To read extra things.
あれ？
Don't go. Yeah, I don't, just because it's different. No. I answer honestly. Do you want to know? Yes?
本当に？
Really? Izumi-san Koi looks at me. Yes? Then I'll tell you.
あのね、私。
There's something I have to tell you. Huh? Okay. And the instant I think that, okay. That wraps. It doesn't let me fast forward through this. Yuka and I go shopping for rice. After we finish Izumi-san's meal. Okay, so it's like, it fills in who you went shopping with. Do you like playing in the water or do you like those things? I do. Tell him the whole truth, because that gets you a good ending. Continue to listen. I'm not mad. Sure. Mention it. Stop the car.
星は永遠に輝き続けるの。水の中でいつまでいつまで。だからその輝きを忘れないでね。ずっと一緒にいようね。
Okay. So, no, unlocking the Izumi ending doesn't change the Izumi curé ending. Okay, we go through here. Okay. Well, now we're going to try to find another ending. It's going to be tough. Well, let's go for it. I don't know how this is going to work, though. So we're going to skip to the next choice. What? Okay, so this shouldn't matter. This shouldn't matter. This shouldn't matter. This also shouldn't matter. This shouldn't matter. This also shouldn't matter. This also shouldn't matter. This also shouldn't matter. This matters a lot. Just hit this. Whatever. This doesn't, no new choices here. Faint. You're right. And over to them. I would go to the pool because that's where Izumi is. Interact with Izumi.
ルナビーチの汚職事件1年。男に二言。じゃあ妨害さえなければいいわよ。
Okay, so you do. Okay. Izumi's not simply too fast. Are you satisfied now? I can't do anything but not.
じゃあ誠いつでもいいからね。
Whatever is fine, whichever is the most convenient day for you. What are your hobbies? I was just wondering this all. So it's kind of like a question and arranged marriage interview. I suppose so.
そうね。最近では
Lately I've been into
この声
swimming.
も
Okay.
大学の頃はもちろんこれでも若い頃はでもねもう6回なの。
It's already been 6 times. They've had my license suspended. Okay.
おかしいのよね。これ
What'd you do? Well, nothing really. I was just driving normally. If that's the case, then why you pulled over? Well, you see, my blood got riled up.
白いバイクを見
I saw a white motorcycle and my blood got riled
血
up.
が騒ぐの
Okay. But then I suddenly regained my senses. That's enough, I get it. Safe driver she was. She raced the white motorcycle and went completely over the speed limit, didn't she? The same gentle Izumi-san who's tilting her head right now. The scene of Izumi-san racing the white motorcycle instantly flashes in my head. Izumi Marino. Huh. Okay. Okay, still haven't seen any new dialogue options. Okay. Okay, does this give me Yuka? Yeah, it does. Thinking, why does it give me Yuka? What did I miss? Got Izumi at the pool, right? They go shopping with Yuka. They did too many Yuka things. But I went... Oh dear. So that did not give me the Izumi. That's odd. It can't let me fast forward through the belting, can it? Okay, so that Yuka looped me. I don't know what I did wrong there to get Yuka looped. Okay. I'm gonna pause and then restart shortly. Okay, I am back, but with no new ideas. I'm going to have to try to figure out why Yuka looped me there. Could be have to do with who I went shopping with. It could be that I decided to go visit Saki again with Okuhiko. Could have to do with going with Haruka instead of Yuka at the beginning. Definitely didn't see any new options though. Again, I don't think these matter that much. But we're gonna go. I'm gonna pick this because I've never picked it before. You really think so? I know she doesn't expect me to say that, though to be honest, I'm utterly amazed. You're unlikely to see such a beautiful sunset in the city. I haven't felt as moved by such a breathtaking scenery in a long time. We didn't have to go all the way here to see it, did we? It's just, I'd feel defeated if I were to admit this is pretty. I guess it's because I'm still sore over losing that bet in tennis. Geez, you're not very honest. Don't tell me you're still bummed about the match. What's that, Yuka-chan? What match? Okuhiko butts into our conversation. This is bad. I don't want a guy like him to know that Yuka completely thrashed me. Well, you see... Hey, Yuka, let's go down to the beach. It'll be better than just watching from here the whole time. I quickly interrupt her story. Hold on, Makoto. You didn't care about it earlier? I was wrong. Looking at it again. It's such a lovely sunset, isn't it? Those were just lies. Honestly, I can't find this sort of thing anywhere. Nope, not at all. But, in order to make sure Yuka doesn't object, I have to resort to flattery. Yuka, thank you. You had suggested we climb up here. Then I think we might have overlooked this. Really? Really, it's also finally gorgeous outside, and since we're right by the coast, we needed to see this. We're all grateful to you, right, Okuhiko? Huh? Yeah. It's not like I did anything special. She says that, but it's clear she's just being modest. Well, let's not just stand here all day. Shall we go down? Good thinking. Yuka regains her cheerful spirits. Okuhiko seems like he wants to say something, but as we've already switched topics, it seems he doesn't feel like going back. Okay. Okay, we don't want to do Yuka again. Yes, Haruka. Faint. Okay, let's try these other dialogue options. What other dialogue options? Oh, here we go. Okay. This one. Izumi-san, do you have a boyfriend? Huh? Normally, you shouldn't ask such an insensitive question without a lead-in. But if I had been dumped recently, that question would have reopened sore wounds. Right, that's what I thought. Wait, what? Dumped? Izumi-san, were you dumped recently? Do you want to know? Yes. Unfortunately, I haven't been dumped. Unfortunately, wait, isn't that a good thing? Not really. I never said I was going out with someone after all. You don't have a boyfriend? Well, sorry to disappoint you. Izumi-san objects with a pout. Kinda reminds me of something Kurumi would do. No, that's not what I... Just kidding. Well, I don't have one right now, but I'm so busy every day anyway that I'm not really interested in anyone at the moment. But perhaps that's a good thing? Izumi-san tilts her head and gives me a mischievous smile. A thought occurs to me. Look at her. Does Izumi's... Okay. Um... Skip through this stuff. Okay. And now we do get the Izumi. Okay. I'm actually gonna save this. And try these. I feel a little guilty. I avoided guys take those hands. Haruka has rock. Okihiko also has rock. Like me, Yuka has scissors. This is a weird alternate Yuka scene. Huh? Are you scared? There's no way that I'm scared. Her tone completely betrays her words. Okay. Do paper. Everyone releases their hands simultaneously. True to her word, Izumi-san releases a tight fist for rock. So it pairs you with Yuka. Okay. Interesting. So do it the way we're supposed to do it. It's weird that these things are not, like, highlighted, even though we know it happens in each of them. These are just Yuka getting drunk and choking me. Alright, these are highlighted. And they get choked. And they get choked. Okay. The Izumi thing. Okay, save. and then actually go to Luna Beach. Interrupted by Kurumi. You get Yuka's scene. Suggest I'm gonna get Yuka looped. Yep, I get Yuka looped. Okay. We're gonna do Haruka. We get this one. Right, that gets Yuka. That gets a Yuka loop. Okay. Go to the Cherry Blossom. We're gonna go very counterintuitive here. We're gonna go. We go hard on Yuka and see if we can not do a Yuka. Nope. Okay. So all those end up Yuka looping. And then if we actually go to Princess Beach, I don't think I've got an errand would really work, right? I'll try it. And then see if it Yuka loops me. What? What? That is really counterintuitive. I am saving hard here. Wow. I'm going to save that and then resume recording shortly. Okay, I discovered this route, which previously was just another Yuka loop. I recently unlocked something that made it into the Izumi route. And immediately going to abandon this route because now I have to know. So I just saved. What happens when, now that I've unlocked this thing, I did it wrong. Princess Beach. I actually do say leave it to me, but then I don't go to the lodge. So I don't see the curé documents. How does that route me? That's also the Izumi route. Okay. And then I'm gonna load it one more time. Go to Princess Beach. Leave it to me. Go to the lodge. It curé loops. Izumi curé route. Okay. And... okay. So, basically, the Izumi route is if you're going for the Izumi curé and you miss, which is odd. It makes it sound like this port did things out of order or something. But whatever. Let's continue on the Azura Izumi non-curé route. The silence is pierced by the sudden sound of my watch alarm going off. I'll wiggle my hand out of the covers and shut my watch alarm off. Since I didn't get enough sleep, my head is still hazy. She's asking me to come over this late at night. Izumi-san, what is it that she wants with me? I don't have the slightest idea of what her true intentions are, but at any rate, there's no way I can break this promise to her. I force myself to jump out of the bed and stretch my stiff limbs. Well then, time to go. I mutter to myself as I pass through the empty living room and head for the front door. Of course, there's no one in the living room. I let out a sigh in the quiet, empty room. I can hear Okuhiko snoring from up in the loft. Hey, wait, Okuhiko suddenly shouts in a roaring voice. When I look up in surprise, hey kid, get off the stage. Hey, stop it, don't lower that zipper. Seems like he's sleep-talking. Man, what kind of dream is he having anyway? I ignore Okuhiko and head towards Luna Beach, where Izumi-san is waiting. When I arrive at Luna Beach, Izumi-san is already waiting for me outside. This is exactly like the Izumi curé route so far. Good evening, Izumi-san. Good evening, Makoto-kun. You're out early. Why were you waiting this whole time? I'm sort of waiting impatiently for you to arrive. Again, just like the curé. Izumi-san casts her gaze slightly downward as she says this. It's a little cold, huh? Izumi-san sighs as she said this. It certainly is cold tonight. Still the same. I'm cold too, so let's hurry up and go inside. I try to say that, but Izumi-san beats me to the punch. Hey, how about we go to Viewpoint Park at the Cape? Huh? But just now you said it was cold. Better read this fast because it's a repeat. Right. Let's try running for a bit. Sure. Come on, let's go. I don't really get what she's up to, but for now I just start running after Izumi-san. In the middle of the running through the cherry blossom tree-lined road, I start to wonder about something. Izumi-san, just what are you thinking? Going to Viewport Park in the middle of the night, what's your plan? From time to time, Izumi-san looks over her shoulder to see if I'm still there. However, her expression is unreadable. Before long, we arrive at Viewpoint Park. Izumi-san is standing by the safety rail gazing out at the ocean. The light sea breeze blows by Izumi-san swaying through her hair. As I can all I can hear around me is the calming roar of the waves, which occasionally wash up against the bottom of the cape. Izumi-san hasn't said a single word since we arrived at the park. I don't get it. What is Izumi-san hoping to do by taking me all the way to a place like this? I wonder if it would be best, after all of this, I just asked her directly. I slowly approach Izumi-san. Makoto-kun. Yes. Izumi-san opens her mouth just as I stand right behind her. Even though I went through all this trouble to run here, the wind has just gone back from chilly to cold, hasn't it? Yeah, you're right. Again, missing brackets. It's true, all that sweat that I let off as I ran become completely chilled. But as I thought today's what? It's a little cold, but as I thought today's the day the stars are at their most beautiful. She lets out a sigh of awe. Oh, the stars? It's a good thing we came here, right? Ah. The canopy of stars hangs above me. The stars sparkle like shining gems on jet black velvet. No, not just gems, diamonds of the highest carat possible. I've never seen anything so radiant in my life. The starry sky is truly captivating. It feels like it's pulling my soul up towards the heavens, like it's drawing me up to the sky. That's how amazing it is. Thank you for today. For Kurumi. Does it actually let me fast forward? No, it doesn't. Right. Izumi-san slowly turns around. If you and the others hadn't been here, I might not have found her by now. No way, you're over-exaggerating. I feel a bit embarrassed to receive such praise. Anyway, even if we didn't look, don't you think she would still come back safe? Kurumi is surprisingly level-headed after all. Izumi-san hangs her head downwards. What's wrong? They say something I shouldn't have? I'm Makoto-kun. Yes. Kurumi has quite the vagrant habits. Occasionally she'll suddenly go out, only to come back a little while later. That's why I was worried this time. But she'll still come back on her own, right? I mean, she's done so up until now, hasn't she? Up until now, yes. But do you know? No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. I can't bring myself to ask her what she means. I feel that if I did, I'd be denying her smile.
それにしても
Nevertheless, a lot of things have happened in the last 4 days. You're right. Izumi-san and I then begin to talk as we recall everything that's happened so far. Kurumi delivering the pizza to our place by mistake. When I came to Luna Beach with the others. Saki coming to yell and complain. When we all went to the pool. Going fishing with Haruka and Saki's anger. Learning that Haruka was a clone. The test of courage. The barbecue. And about the others. One by one, Izumi-san rattles off everyone's good and bad traits. She's been paying attention. I'm impressed. This seems a little bit different now. I'm a biased person, so I wouldn't have been able to draw such objective conclusions. And then there's you, Makoto-kun. Finally, my turn has arrived.
誠君は
You have an excellent ability to take action. You showed that when you were searching for Kurumi.
でも
But even though you're not stupid, you're bad at understanding people's feelings.
時々
Occasionally, your brief, trifling comments end up hurting other people.
誰
Really? I think that's probably your greatest flaw. I don't really understand or accept that. I don't understand others' emotions. Really? I was trying to be understanding enough. You sound like an old person.
ってなんかい
It's
ないわ
not
ね
like
本当に
I really am old. Well, you're already 22 years old. Another twist! She's really old.
あ
Ah, see,
もう一言
that's what I mean. Oh,
もう一言
it's comments like that that hurt everyone.
口は災い
Words can be the source of catastrophes. Well, Makoto-kun? Izumi is best character so far. I'll keep that in mind. I had no idea that I was hurting others. Having it being told to me so bluntly really is a shock.
でも
But Izumi-san looks into my eyes. I'm unable to look away.
でもね
But it seems that in spite of that troublesome personality of
好きになっ
yours,
てたみたい
I've fallen in love with you. My heart skips a beat. Izumi-san's words go from my ears to my brain. And then it feels like they're spreading all around my body via my nerves. Gradually, my body starts to grow hotter and hotter. Izumi-san loves me? I didn't know. I didn't notice it at all. I'm oblivious. Izumi-san said it earlier, you're bad at understanding people's feelings. These words deeply pierce me in the heart like a dagger. I'm sorry, Izumi-san. I never noticed your feelings.
別に謝ら
You don't
な
have
く
to
てもいいよ
apologize.
私が
I was the
勝
one
手
who
に
fell
好
in
きにな
love
っちゃったんだ
on my own, after all.
だからお願い
So please, for this short time, let me love you. Is this what it feels like to be loved by another person? No, that might not be it. I'm not being loved by a person. Oh, this dialogue again. Internal monologue. I return to my room and slip into my bed. In the end, I was unable to give her any sort of answer after she said that. Why couldn't I say anything? I'll be back. And I made this mistake where I read things before restarting recording. So, why couldn't I say anything? Just what do I feel for Izumi-san? Even though it's a simple question, I currently don't know the answer. Okay. Mistake fixed, I believe. The image of Izumi-san's smile is burned into my eyes. When I close them, the image of her face faintly appears in the darkness. I can't sleep like this. A short time later, I look at my watch. It's already 4:30 a.m. The date is April 5th. Naturally, tomorrow is Saturday, April 6th. Saturday, April 6th. I mutter this out loud. The incident in that dream, I don't think it will really occur after all. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Just who is the one who died in my dream? And in the instant I think that, Izumi-san. So this happens again. I'm overcome with shock. Right now I can't comprehend what I just saw. The image that appeared before my eyes, Izumi-san lying face down in the mud. A premonition. It's impossible. Then the one who showed up in my dream was Izumi-san? Are you kidding me? This can't be real. I grasp my head in my hands and violently shake it. I shake it countless times. I can't believe it. No, it'd be nuts for me to believe it. That was just a hallucination. I've been thinking about Izumi-san too much, that's why I had it. Izumi-san. I tremble in the bed. I continue to shiver like a small frightened animal. In the end, I couldn't get any sleep after that. Staying in my room became unbearable, so I headed over to Luna Beach to wait for it to open. At any rate, I wanted to see Izumi-san smile as soon as possible. Stand in front of the shop and bolt open the door. Oh, Makoto-kun, what's wrong? You're here so early. Izumi-san's kind smile. That smile instantly calms my heart down. Well, I don't really have anything to do today, so I thought I'd help you out. Huh? What a curious turn of events. Why? Remember the promise we made when I lost our race at the pool? One day I'll help you out at Luna Beach. Oh, that's what you mean. It's fine, you don't have to do that. But I do, a man never goes back on his word, remember? That's true. Right, well then, if you wouldn't mind, please go ahead. My comment to that is, women also shouldn't go back on their word. It sort of feels like today will be busy. Izumi-san goes back to her normal routine, a wave of relief sweeps over me. The truth is, the real reason I came here was to watch over Izumi-san and act as her bodyguard. I had to prevent the incident in that dream from happening no matter what. I must protect Izumi-san. I know that it won't happen today, but if something does happen today, it might be the cause of what happens tomorrow. When I think of it that way, I feel uneasy. For the next 2 days, I'll definitely protect Izumi-san. I have to. Thus, I work at Luna Beach today without pay. Oddly enough, Izumi-san's prediction was right on the mark, as there are tons of customers today. Okay, this is consistent with the Saki ending. And what's more, it seems that Kurumi picked today of all days to go out and play. Izumi-san grumbles when it gets incredibly busy. I can't help but bitterly smile at those words. But man, today is really busy. How we're attracting so many customers, I have no idea, because plot. Unaccustomed to this level of customers, Izumi's scatterbrain mode is on turbo right now. My eyes are a bit tired. Izumi-san, don't rub your eyes while holding that kitchen knife. And the customers with the pepperoncino and the steamed clam sauté was, Izumi-san, in front of you. Kya! Ah! That was close, I almost fell. Koto-kun, why are you lying on the ground? Geez, I won't consent to any slacking off. I can't reach it. Izumi-san, I'll do it. Just don't pile all those chairs up, it's too dangerous. Izumi-san's close calls will scare me to death. Because it's so busy, time passes by as fast as a speeding arrow. And then at evening, the customers finally stop coming. Koto-kun, shall we take a little break? Once the last customer has left, Izumi-san turns the plate from the entrance from open to closed and comes back. Here you go. She says as Izumi places a cup of black tea down in front of me. I guess you could call this tea time, huh? Izumi-san takes her own tea and sits down opposite of me. It's so quiet here that it feels like that the hustle and bustle that were going on just minutes ago never happened. Suddenly I remember those words from last night. So please, for this short time, let me love you. The one who said those words is sitting in front of me right now. As soon as I think that, my chest feels hot and I get a little nervous. I'm too shaken up to make eye contact with Izumi-san. So I avert my eyes and concentrate on Izumi-san's words. Hey Makoto-kun, this morning I got a present from Kurumi. According to her, it seems that she found it on Princess Beach. So this is either a star sand or the bell. Hey, why are you looking in that direction? Oh, that's right, I slept funny last night, so my neck is killing me. Speaking of which, about last night. Last night was really cold. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Are you alright? Yes, I should be perfectly fine. This conversation is making me so overly conscious of myself that I'm getting flustered. I'm restless. The way she's acting, it seems like she'll end up asking me, "What's your answer from last night?" any minute now. Just then, out of the blue. I'm sorry. Izumi-san apologizes. Not expecting to hear those words, I stare at Izumi-san dumbfounded. I said those things last night without taking your feelings into account. If I had known it would make things this awkward, I wouldn't have said it. I'm an idiot. Izumi-san's eyes cloud up slightly. No way, it's just Sorry. I don't know yet if I feel the same way. Would you give me a little time to think about it? Yes, don't rush your answer. The way she says that makes it sound like she's in pain. Just what should I do? It doesn't give me a choice, though. Before long, it's the shop's closing time. In the end, Luna Beach's business hours conclude safely and uneventfully. Nothing happened to Izumi-san. Despite feeling relieved, I can't help but get gloomy. Our conversation this evening. Thanks to that, the atmosphere between Izumi-san and I has become awkward. Izumi-san silently carries on with her work as if nothing ever happened. I was unable to say anything to Izumi-san in that state. The two of us are alone in the shop. It's weird when you think in honorifics, dude. The mood is still rather awkward. In order to wipe away the atmosphere, I invite Izumi-san to the lodge. I bet that if we're with the others, the mood will surely brighten up. Izumi-san willingly accepts my invitation. The two of us begin walking to the lodge. Does someone steal the money this time? We arrive at the lodge. Izumi-san makes dinner. It tastes good, but it's not as great as her usual cooking. Of course, it could simply be my imagination. After we eat. Well then, after I'm done cleaning up, don't you think we better be getting back, Kurumi? Izumi-san prompts Kurumi and stands up. We have to go back already? Kurumi complains about Izumi-san's request, and then I decide to try laying out a proposition. Hey, why don't you two sleep over here tonight? Again, the Saki ending. What, is it really okay? Kurumi, I know we came all the way out here, but we really can't, Makoto-kun. I have work tomorrow too, so... Oh, it's alright, isn't it? It's simple. Look, if you're worried about bedrooms, we've got some there and up there. Yuka points to my room in the loft. Hey, those are our rooms, aren't they? Don't worry. Izumi-san, you really don't have to worry about it. It's fine. We'll make sure you get up early enough in the morning. I try to be persuasive as possible. If Izumi-san goes back now, it'll be troublesome. In 3 hours, the date will change. As long as I can see Izumi-san, she'll be safe. Alright, we accept. But don't worry about rooms. Kurumi and I will be okay just sleeping together on the living room sofa. In that case, then you can use the loft, Izumi-san. Hey, that's my room. There's just something a little too big in there. But it can be removed. Listen to me. Don't worry. I'm worried. It's alright, if it's you, Okuhiko-kun, then you should be able to sleep elegantly even on the sofa. Just, how do you sleep elegantly on a sofa? Just then, Haruka tugs on Okuhiko's clothes as he whines. Okuhiko, if you're a man, then just put up with it. Isn't this where you say yes? Yes. It seems Okuhiko is unable to withstand Haruka's comment. Sorry, Okun. No, it's fine. Now that she mentioned it, I was in the mood for sleeping on the sofa today. Okuhiko says this quite sullenly. Yeah, let's all play a card game tonight, guys. The overjoyed Kurumi skips around about the room. Azumi-san furrows her brow at this as if to say, can't be helped. Here we go. The card game was much more fun than I expected. The others went to sleep just a short while ago. Yuka and Haruka went back to their own rooms. Kurumi is up in the loft. Okuhiko is snoring on the living room sofa. I'm sitting on a dining chair, staring at Izumi-san from behind. Izumi-san is silently looking at the window right now, softly touching the glass with her palm. Oh, it's raining. What, rain? I walk up next to Izumi-san while saying this. I look outside the window. Just as Izumi-san said, raindrops have started to fall. The two of us keep silent as we watch the drizzling rain continue to fall. The awkward atmosphere from this evening has returned, wrapping both of us up in it. I can't stand this silence. I decide to tell her about my premonition for tomorrow. Izumi-san. Yes? The truth is, what's wrong, Makoto-kun? Tomorrow you might die, Izumi-san. What? So be careful, don't take a single step outside tomorrow. Hold on, what do you mean by trust me? Makoto-kun, please trust me. Silence returns. I decide to break up the awkwardness by making the situation much more awkward. Before you know it, the rain picks up. The sound of the rain striking the earth echoes in this dark room. Mixed with the sound of the rain is the faint sound of Izumi-san's cold sighs. Gonna take a break here. Okay, I'm back. For long, I understand, but I just can't not take a single step outside, right? I have to go back to the shop. Izumi-san answers. But it's alright, besides, if you're that worried, then you can be my bodyguard. Will you help me out at the shop tomorrow as well? Yes, but Izumi-san, do you believe me? Izumi-san slowly nods. Then I'll trust you two. No matter what happens, I'll trust you. Izumi-san looks a little surprised. Oh, yeah, because saying he trusts her is is a little bit of a because of the experiment. But she soon returns with a calm smile. You shouldn't trust me, Makoto. You shouldn't. Afterwards, Izumi-san and I briefly watched the rain fall from by the window in silence. Then a little over an hour later, Izumi-san heads up to the loft. Early in the morning, Izumi-san and I return to Luna Beach together. I help set up the shop before it opens, and before long, opening time arrives. But today's so slow that it makes it seem like the rush of customers yesterday never happened. An hour has passed since the shop opened, but there still hasn't been a single customer. Is it the weather's fault? Last night's rain hasn't lifted at all. After a while, the rest of the group arrives at the shop. The rest of their hands on their chins as they rest their hands on their chins as time blankly passes by. I'm bored. Yeah. I wonder if there's something we can do. Hey, how about we play plate frisbee? I'm bored. Yeah. I wonder if there's something we can do. Hey, how about we play baseball using the cleaning implements? Oh, but we don't have enough people. Kurumi. I'm bored. Yeah. I wonder if there's something we can do. Hey, how about we all have a drinking contest? Kurumi will be fine with juice. Kurumi! Time slowly and quietly passes by. Might as well close up for today. No customers have come, so it seems like Izumi-san has given up on today's work. This is actually good timing for me to go shopping. It's raining outside. I wonder if it's alright to use the car after so long. You can't, Izumi-san. I frantically try to stop her. If she goes outside now, I don't know what will happen. No matter what, I have to keep Izumi-san inside the shop today, or else. Then as I think that. Hehe. What is it, Yuka? Hehehehe. You too, Okuhiko. Ha 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 ha. Kurumi. Ha 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 ha. With Kurumi's laugh being the trigger, everyone starts breaking out into roars of laughter for some reason. Sorry, the truth is, everyone's been tricking you, Ishihara. We thought we'd try playing a little prank on you. So they just kind of he just kind of dumps it right here with no... To make you say foolish things like, I'm able to have premonitions and all that. We all conspired together and pretended your premonitions were really correct. For example, there was that time where you said the car's battery is dead, so we can't use it. Izumi-san purposely pulled the key back right when she turned it in the ignition so that it wouldn't sound like the car wasn't working, pretending the battery was really dead. The battery really was dead. I remember when you asked, aren't we having meat and potatoes tonight? I quickly ran out to buy the ingredients and Izumi-san swiftly made the food. Long story short, the futures that you predicted were merely forced to become so by us cooperating to manipulate you. Again, doesn't make sense because why would he predict the future in the first place anyway? So it's only natural that there's no way that event where Izumi-san dies will happen. Because it's just a trick. Sorry, Makoto-kun. Makoto-kun? Sorry? Sorry? So you're saying that everyone has been deceiving me. You're telling me that everything that happened in the past 6 days was all planned. Something within me. Angry words rapidly pour out my mouth. When you treated us to dinner, the commotion when Saki fell into the ocean, when you revealed Haruka was a clone, you all lied to me. At the test of courage when you told me not to worry, that's what you meant. They're overflowing. My words laced with anger are flooding out like waves during a typhoon. And also, what you told me that day at Viewpoint Park as well. Oops. From the beginning to the end, everything was a lie, wasn't it? Ishihara, what happened at Viewpoint? Shut up. Well, how about it? Answer me. Makoto-kun, before I answer, there's one thing I want to tell you. I don't want to hear your excuses. That's enough. I have enough of going along with this cheap drama. Makoto-kun, you're wrong. Please listen to me. We know from the other ending that Although Okuhiko thought it was tricks, it wasn't tricks. So that you can lie to me some more? So that you can trick me and make me dance to your tune even more? You don't trust me? How can I trust you when everything you say is coated with lies? You're wrong. You're wrong. You're still lying this late into the game? Yes, you just believe this thing Okuhiko said. I was nothing more than a plaything for your own amusement, wasn't I? I bet you had a riot laughing behind the back of a man younger than you about his constant anxiety. Isn't that right? Sharp pain runs across my cheek. Izumi-san's trembling hand is raised overhead. Her eyes are absolutely overflowing with tears. Goodbye. Izumi-san finally says this. Izumi-san violently throws open the door and rushes out into the downpour. The rest of us are dumbfounded and stare at the door Izumi-san ran out of. Words can be the source of catastrophes, Makoto-kun. I recall Izumi-san's words from back then. Izumi-san, what should my next course of action? Save the game, that's what it should be. Stand still where I am. I stand frozen in place. The rage welling within me earlier was completely wiped out from Izumi-san's slap to the point where I've become almost unbelievably calm. But I hesitate. What am I supposed to do in times like this? Kodo, are you okay with not going after her? The most important law of Professor Yuka's love formula. It's no use crying over spilt milk. Yuka, that's right, I have to go after her. At any rate, I have to go after Izumi-san. I fly out the shop, chasing after Izumi-san as fast as lightning. I'm no longer hesitant. Truth in lies, okay. I pursue Izumi-san in the intense rain. For some reason, I feel strangely uneasy. I have to hurry, I urge myself forwards. I arrive on the coastline road and look around. I found her. I see Izumi-san's small retreating figure. She's running to the west. I run after her with all my strength, kicking off the wet asphalt. Even when I enter the forest path, Izumi-san's speed still hasn't dropped a bit. I run up the hill road as fast as I can. Izumi-san hasn't looked back once. Despite that, she desperately runs as if she knows I'm chasing her. I'm unable to close the distance between us. Izumi-san finally stops just as she arrives in the vicinity of the lodge. Stay away. As she notices me, Izumi-san shouts. Once again, she goes running off. Izumi-san? Izumi-san pushes through the deep thicket while retreating deep into the forest. However, as a result, she slows down. I use this opportunity quickly to catch up to her and cling to her arm. Izumi-san. I tug at her arm, forcing her to turn around. Why do you chase after me? I'm sorry, I went way too far earlier. When I mutter these words, Izumi-san shakes her head. Kodo-kun, it was reasonable for you to blame me. It's only natural you said those things. I don't care how badly you think about me. But I want you to believe this, if nothing else. The one thing I couldn't lie about were my feelings. I love you, Makoto-kun. If nothing else, I want you to believe my feelings. I stare into Izumi-san's eyes. Izumi-san is also looking straight into my eyes. I can't feel anything that makes it seem like she's lying in that serious gaze of hers. I remember her words from 2 nights ago, but it seems that in spite of that troublesome personality of yours, I've fallen in love with you. My blood is boiling. Then why? Why'd you cooperate them to do all these ridiculous things? That's because of... And just as Izumi-san starts to say that, hey! Oni-chan! I can hear Okuhiko and the others' voices from behind me. I turn around. In that instant, my attention slips from Izumi-san to the others. At that time, Izumi-san shakes off my grip. I'm so sorry. And basically kills herself. Izumi-san takes off again. Wait! I pursue her. Izumi-san steadily advances through the forest and pushes her way through the plants while heading towards a treetop that's sticking out. But in the blink of an eye, Izumi-san disappears. It's as if she's been spirited away. Izumi-san? I run up to the spot where Izumi-san disappeared. The ground there is a steep slope slanted downwards. In other words, I've come across the farthest into the forest, a cliff. No way. I quickly get down on my hands and knees and slide down the cliff. I turn my head and survey my surroundings. I find Izumi-san lying a short bit away from me. Impossible. I stagger through the soft mud as I try to run towards Izumi-san. I'm definitely making a misunderstanding about this. I tell this to myself. Izumi-san's cold body is stretched out in the soaked wet mud. She isn't moving. Her heavily dangling palm is clutching onto a small fragment of light. A bell. It's that bell. As soon as I see it, I suddenly remember something. Kurumi's words from when we went to see the crab sumo. Kurumi just picked up something a little interesting. And yesterday at Luna Beach, Izumi-san told me, this morning I got a present from Kurumi. According to her, it seems she found it on Princess Beach. Kurumi found the spell on Princess Beach. Before long, the bell begins to quietly slip out of the palm. And then slips out and falls. I tearfully cling to Izumi-san's back as my body's trembling gradually intensifies. In my arms, I can feel her cold, wet skin. Looking at her ghastly pale, almost transparent cheeks, I feel like she might shatter into 1,000 pieces if I touched her cheek. As if she were a doll made of glass. So please, for this short time, let me love you. Izumi-san's painful words came back to me. Izumi-san? Now I finally realize it. Izumi-san wasn't the only one lying. I was also deceiving Izumi-san. It was because I was scared. The goddess's words were simply way too kind for me. I was unable to honestly accept them. I also felt the same for Izumi-san. I loved her. Which, you are the kiss of death, because you were the player character. Why didn't I tell her? Why? My hoarse voice alone fills this empty void. My sadness and self-loathing rapidly become more and more profound. Oh, so it's like he parallels Yuka in that way. But because he's the player character, unlike Yuka, he does have a second chance. This hot rage overwhelms me and brutally snatches away my sense of reasoning. I feel as if I lost my sense of self. In the middle of the pelting rain, I soon lose consciousness. And loop. As I wake up, I kick the covers off the bed with all my strength. Still half asleep, I blankly stare into space. Familiar ceiling. What? This is my room in the lodge. What's going on? Just seconds ago I was outside. I was right next to Izumi-san. Was it a dream? No, that's impossible. My memory is clear about what happened. But if that was a dream, then maybe I'm still dreaming now. Just then, a thought hits me. After I lost consciousness, someone might have found me and brought me back here. I forced my languid body to move, and checked the time on my watch. Monday the 1st, 8:47 a.m. It's morning, huh? I slept pretty well. Huh? I frantically checked my watch one more time. The 1st. My eyes aren't deceiving me. From what I can see, according to my watch, today is unmistakably April Fool's Day. I shift my eyes towards the window. If my memories are correct, then the weather is certainly the same as it was on the day I woke up from that nightmare. I'm still half asleep, but I must have time traveled. Yeah, I just realized that Izumi planning this experiment on April Fool's Day was not... Wow. Everything matters. Like, imagine if you, found out it was April Fool's Day. Like, you figure out this was all a prank at when you first started playing the game, just by nature of it starting on April 1st. I blurted out my thoughts. Possible, I can't accept this way of thinking. And besides, it doesn't change the fact that I failed to protect Izumi-san. Once again, despair and intense rage well up inside me. I tried to travel, but I still failed. Okay. I still be like, I time traveled! My nails dig into my palm as I clench my hand tightly. My lips start to bleed as I bite them hard. But then I rethink the situation. Before getting depressed or punishing myself, I have to confirm this. Did I really time travel? If not, then why was I brought back here? What happened to Izumi-san? I get out of my bed and try to head to the living room. And at that time, the door of my room was violently thrown open with enough force to break it. Oh, that's right, of course that would happen. If I've really time traveled, then this was going to happen. I slowly shift my gaze to the one to open the door. Standing there, I see... Izumi-san? Bump. It twisted. I scroll and scream and fall back down in my bed. I'm thrown into a state of confusion by this incomprehensible situation. Why? Why? Why is Izumi-san here? It's no longer a problem of whether I've time traveled or not. This is a paradox. If I really time traveled, then I shouldn't be acquainted with Izumi-san yet. But if I didn't time travel, then Izumi-san should be dead. Izumi-san shuts the door behind her and approaches me. I step back in order to get as far away from Izumi-san as possible. However, there's nowhere to run, and Izumi-san slowly approaches to close the distance between us, pulls out a knife, and stabs me in the heart. Ghost. My voice is trembling like the heroine in some B-horror movie. Izumi-san approaches me as close as possible and starts to restrain me. I try to scream again, but Izumi-san covers my mouth as I squirm in place. Calm down, Makoto-kun. Alright, just calm down and listen to me. Izumi-san talks in a gentle yet authoritative voice that leaves no room for denial. I nod, but Izumi-san still keeps her head over my mouth. First of all, today is not April 1st, but April 7th. The truth is, then Izumi-san begins to exhale. On that day, it seemed that Izumi-san only fainted when she fell from the cliff. If I followed suit, Okuhiko and the others found us and took us back to the lodge. In other words, I've been asleep for a whole day. But the most surprising thing is that Okuhiko has started to try to deceive me again. As for exactly what he's up to, according to Izumi-san, it's something like this. Okuhiko and the others chased after us and found us collapsed at the bottom of the cliff. Izumi-san woke up shortly afterwards, but I wouldn't wake up at all. When they brought me back to the lodge, they had called a doctor to examine me, but it wasn't serious. It seems I had lost consciousness due to the strain and mental shock, and I'd wake up by the next morning. But Okuhiko took this chance to come up with an interesting idea. The group would pretend it was April 1st once more and repeat the same things they did that day. And so he changed the date on my watch yesterday while I was unconscious so that it would read April 1st today. But Izumi-san could no longer stand continuing to deceive me, and so decided to secretly tell me everything. That's how it is. Also, it seems Izumi-san had a justifiable reason to deceive me. To put it simply, she was threatened by Okuhiko. If you don't obey me, then I'll reveal Kurumi-chan's secret. That's how it went down. Kurumi's secret? I'm curious, but Izumi-san doesn't tell me. Well, this is confusing! But I can let that matter go for now. More importantly than anything else, I can't help but feel intense hatred towards the cowardly Okuhiko. Okuhiko, you Edmund. I need to get even with him no matter what. Hey, if you want revenge, then how about this? Why don't turn Okuhiko's plan against him and deceive him by using the same trick? In other words, he's saying after Okuhiko wakes up, we'll act like it's April 1st. Izumi-san, that's brilliant, you're a genius. Aren't I? Okay. I think I kind of know where this is going. So my corn isn't completely fused into like a smooth yellow cylinder. But it's getting kind of, not very distinct kernels, should I say. Okay, I'll save the game here. And pick it up some other time.